So I spoke with Jeremy a week or two ago, and he mentioned 4 areas that you guys are focused on in order to improve the user experience. The first being improving the non-dating experience. Second, cleaning out bad users. Third, improving the chat experience. And fourth, improving recommendations. So I'm just going to go bucket by bucket and give you my optimizations that I would make, my feedback for each section. So first, improving the non-dating experience. So in the registration onboarding flow, I think you guys are spot on asking the user what they're here for. But I think you could take it a step further and also ask them what type of person they're interested in meeting. For instance, if I'm here for dating, I'd wanna only meet a specific type of person. A straight woman between these ages who's within 50 miles of me. I don't want to see any guys, and I don't want any guys to contact me. And then in the other scenario, say I'm a woman who's only here for fun and friendship, I certainly don't want to be bombarded by guys looking to hook up and date. So I think this would be a key addition to the site to help improve the non-dating experience. Also, in terms of non-dating, I think a great complementary feature would be the addition of some sort of what I'm calling chat rooms. Which would be rooms that anyone could create based on either any sort of topic, whether it's a fun room, hang out, hot or not, open for dating. But the key would be that up to 8 people could be in these rooms and chatting real time. And I think that complements your existing one-to-one chat functionality great. Because currently, one-to-one, there's definitely a little bit of pressure when you're chatting just with one person. So when you're talking about a group chat, it's definitely less pressure. And I think that could be something that's missing. So that could be you definitely want to get feedback and see what people think before you implement it. But I think that could be a great addition and help enhance the non-dating experience. Okay, second, cleaning out bad users. So what I noticed is if I was talking to somebody and they said something terrible or sent me a bad picture, I wanted to immediately block them. So I clicked these 3 dots and then clicked block. But what happens is once I blocked them, I wasn't able to report them because they disappeared from me. So I think you're missing out on a lot of reporting because of that. So what I would do is after the user blocks someone, also give them the option to report that user. I think that'll help you get rid of a lot of these bad actors as well. Also, in terms of iPhones, I'm not sure if you guys are currently blocking people by their UDID. So, if there's someone posting bad pictures or harassing somebody and they're reported, do you block them from ever creating a new account by blocking their UDID, or are you just deleting their current account? Because I would definitely make sure to not allow them to ever create a new account from that iPhone. All right, next to improving the chat experience. So one of the things I noticed is that in the chat tab, you guys are mixing, friend notifications with profile views, with matches, with messages, and I think that's just really cluttering up this chat tab. So what I would do is I would section out all the different types of notifications at the top, and then leave the big section for the, your actual chats. And why I would do that is, I looked at a lot of different dating websites or dating apps, and they seem to do that too. They leave the connections at the top, messages at the bottom. And the goal then is really to take any type of connection here and turn it into a chat and bring it down here. And I think it makes it more intuitive to the user. Because if you're mixing profile views with messages, all right, so say someone views my profile, maybe I don't want to chat with them, but it's still stuck in that chat section. So that just, again, like I said, clutters the chat section. So I think this would be a great reorganizational change you can do here. Another thing I would do to improve the chat experience is, like I said, make these chat rooms. I think it allows people to chat in a lot less pressure environment. The third thing would be, like I mentioned before, I think being able to set who you want to see and then who can see you is another great feature to improve the chat experience. Because if I'm only looking for dating, I want to see a particular type of person who's also looking for dating. Whereas if I'm a female looking to just have fun, I don't want people who are serious, dating, looking to hook up. And I think implementing some type of functionality like that will be key in rooting out the people I don't want to talk to, and improving the chat experience. So a couple other things, just kind of in terms of reorganizing the app. So I think this first tab should contain all the features that allow me to find new people, right? So you guys have this meet section here. I would also bring the match section here, right? It just seems intuitive to me as a user that, all right, let's put everything in this section to help me find new people. And then in terms of the feed, I think you could clean this up a little bit. I don't like that I have to click 2 or 3 times to change the filter. I mean, why not just put that at the top, make it real easy? Because if there's not a lot of action in my nearby, then I'd want to go to my friends. If I'm tired of my friends, then let me see everybody. Also, I love how Facebook has the prompt at the top. What are you up to? It sort of makes me want to add something to the conversation. Whereas you guys have something small on the bottom. I'd check about implementing that change and see if that increases users posting new content. And then on a user profile, you guys default to their chat. I think it would be better to default to this tab, their feed tab, because every time I clicked on a user, I always checked here. I wanted this to read their about. I wanted to read their status. Are they looking for dating? Are they looking for just chat? And I would actually expand it too, because I think people need to first figure out, is that somebody I want to chat with? And then if it is, then I'll chat with them. It seems counterintuitive to just first default to chat and then make me click here and then click back. Also, in terms of the chat, your pre-built questions seem pretty spammy. So I messaged 10 to 15 people. I didn't get a single response. And in terms of, if I were to get some pre-built questions, I think I would assume they were spammy as well. So I would definitely consider getting rid of those. Let's see, what else? And then in terms of settings, I moved all the settings, which is pretty standard, having a settings on the top right of the user profile. I moved kind of all the settings here. I moved the MeetMe Plus here. I thought made sense. I thought in terms of trying to sell MeetMe Plus and sell credits, I'd really try and integrate that into the actual experience, which you guys do really well when doing the advanced filters and things like that. So I try and figure out more ways to incorporate that. And that's pretty much it. Thanks.